It's Todd's Odds with our sports betting analyst, Todd Fuhrman. It's all brought to you by FanDuel. Todd joins us from Las Vegas, Nevada. And a couple of weeks ago, Todd, I asked you about the MVP race of the National Football League. At the time, Patty Mahomes a heavy favorite until that 5-touchdown performance by Lamar Jackson this past week. Now, Lamar's the front runner, but here's the thing. Our mutual friend Luke Wilson, who appears on the show all the time, feels that Jared Goff needs to be taken more seriously in the MVP race. He's currently the 4th choice at FanDuel. How do you feel about Luke's choice?
I think Luke is a smart man, but I do question some of his life choices hanging out with you on a regular basis like I do my own, doing this segment as frequently as we have done. But you look at what this Lions team has become in recent weeks, Jay. It's pretty remarkable. Over the last 4 games, this team has scored more touchdowns than Jared Goff has thrown incompletions. He's in full command of what Ben Johnson wants to do behind arguably the best offensive line in the game. You look at the muddled mess that is the NFC, and there's no reason to believe that the Lions can't be the #1 seed. If they're able to make that ascent, Jared Goff is very much in the conversation alongside Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and 2 other names that can't be forgotten, Josh Allen and Joe Burrow as well.
Okay, let's talk about the fact that this week our popular TSN Toronto radio show, Overdrive, was talking all about you, buddy. Let's take a listen.
Jay's segment with the NFL, like the Dallas Cowboys are already on the list.
Is that on that, Jay that comes up with that, or is it Luke that is throwing that out?
Jay has a guy on his show. It's called Jeff Spetz.
Okay.
And he's a handicapper.
And get
I
them to the promised
misspoke,
land.
boys. I misspoke. The segment is called Todd's Odds.
Todd's odds. Okay.
There
Not Jeff Spetz.
Okay. Todd's
that's what,
odds.
That's what your segment is, Jeff's best.
So, Todd, can we change the name of the segment to Jeff's Bets and you just change your name, or should we give that one to the O-Dog?
Honestly, Jay, I thought this was your indirect way of telling me I've been fired in the middle of the segment and you were going to bring on Jeff to wrap this up. But I appreciate the boys referencing, what we're doing, trying to find teams to eliminate week in, week out, rather than being pigeonholed into picking a Super Bowl winner so early in the season.
Yeah, and some people were surprised that you eliminated the Cowboys from Super Bowl contention back in July. Do you want to defend yourself in that particular position? And do you have anyone else to add to the list this week?
One of the things when I looked at this Cowboys roster from top to bottom, I had some real concerns about the difference makers they had on the offensive side. And we've seen some of those issues come to fruition with their inability to run the football. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, they got rid of for a reason, and then they bring him back, pair him up with Rico Dowdle, and this is one of the worst rushing attacks in the league. You look at their receiver room, and while CeeDee Lamb is elite, Jake Ferguson is a good plus tight end. There is no true secondary option, especially with the Brandon Cooks injury. And we're seeing how perilously thin this team is defensively. Jay, we talked about teams that we thought were good value bets to miss the playoffs. And I tried to make a case for the Cowboys. Lose this week and look at their upcoming schedule. It can be a real problem real quickly for Jerry Jones down there in Big D. But I will indeed add another team to the mix. Unfortunately, our friends in the desert, the Arizona Cardinals, will not be participating in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. This is just a team that's dealing with too many injuries on the defensive side, and I just don't love the consistency or lack thereof that we've seen from Kyler Murray and company. So sorry, Cardinals fans, we're putting you on the scrap heap. You've officially been eliminated from Super Bowl contention.
All right, and finally, Todd, Yankees and Dodgers begin the Fall Classic this Friday. The World Series Game 1 goes Friday at Dodger Stadium. Who you taking?
So this is where my fandom gets in the way of making clear, objective judgments as a sports bettor. Jay, I'm not sure if we've talked about this, but I grew up a Yankee fan in the Chicago suburbs. I rooted for the Knicks, the Yankees, the Rangers, and the Giants. And the Yankees were the saving grace when they started to turn things around as a franchise in the 90s. So I'll put my fan hat on and I will root for the Yankees. In no way, shape, or form am I endorsing a bet in this particular series, but I would like to see the Pinstripers break through and add yet another commissioner's trophy to that trophy case they have in the Bronx that continues to be the most dynamic in all of Major League Baseball.
Whether you call him Todd or Jeff, here's what you're going to have to know. This guy is the only guy to come to for all your sports betting information. It's Todd's Odds. Next week, it might be Jeff's Bets, but either way, you'll be back with us next week. Thanks, buddy.
Looking forward to it, my friend.